Hi everyone, my name is Kat, or a Fairy Librarian, and welcome to a new reading vlog. So I'm in a position where I'm in the middle of two books that I am going to finish first, and then we'll see what I read after that. I have some options here, but we'll see what it is. So first, I'm in the middle of The Bloodstones by Tori Tekken. I'm 2/3 of the way through. According to my e-reader, I have only 3 hours left, so it should be fairly easy to finish this week. But I said that last week too, and then it didn't happen. So we'll see, because I am really liking it, but it's a little darker than what I'm used to, and my brain was just not in a place where I wanted that. So let's see if the mood comes back this week, and then I can finish it, because I was really liking it. Still am. Just, I don't want to read it when I'm in the mood and not like it as much as I could. So yeah. Little heads up, Tori is a friend of mine. She sent me this copy, so do with that what you will. But just a little heads up. So yeah. Then I'm also reading A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas, and I'm absolutely loving this. I am this far in, so almost 2/3, and I'm having a wonderful time. And this is exactly what my brain wants right now. So I don't think this will be hard to finish either. So that is number 2. I think that as soon as I finish A Court of Mist and Fury, I'm going to dive right into A Court of Wings and Ruin, the third book and the last book in sort of like the initial trilogy. I believe this was first a trilogy, and then, since then, you also had A Court of Frost and Starlight and A Court of Silver Flames, but I think that this is the conclusion to this first arc. So yeah, I think that as soon as I finish Akamath, I'm gonna want to dive into this. After this one, I'm gonna take a break from Sarah J. Maas though, because I don't want to burn myself out. But we'll see how I feel when I finish Akamath. But that is definitely an option to start this week. I also have a buddy read planned for The Bandit Queens by Parini Shroff, which is also an option to start this week. We'll see. Or something else. I'm just gonna start off with finishing my 2 current reads, and then we'll see where that takes us. I am gonna go now because I need to go to the library, like the public library, because one of my holds came in yesterday, so I need to pick that up. And I'm also gonna maybe already get a few other books that I have buddy reads planned for them in November, then I don't have to worry about that anymore, then I already have them. Or maybe I'll just wait a little bit longer to get them. So I'm not sure. I'm gonna see when I'm there what I'm gonna do. I also need to go to the university library because I need to get started on my bachelor's thesis. I'm just gonna do some reading for it to really narrow down what it's gonna be about. So yeah, a lot of library today. but I'm gonna take maybe the Bloodstones with me for when I take a break, just because it's a little more portable than this brick of a book. But actually, I don't need a lot of other stuff, so I could just put this in my bag. And then that's it. That is also an option. I'm gonna think about it. So, yeah. That is the very chaotic and rambly intro. I will see you when I have an update. Bye. Hi, it is now Friday. I haven't been updating much because I haven't been reading that much. I get most of my readings done in the evenings, and my evenings have just been pretty full this week. I mean, with fun stuff, but still, like, it's time that I can't dedicate to reading. So on Tuesday, I just had some uni stuff that was like the least fun out of the 3 evenings. Like not annoying stuff, but like just practical stuff that needed to happen. But then on Wednesday, I went to the theater with some friends. We watched an adaptation of the Works and Days by Hesiodus. I was very curious how they were going to adapt that to theater, because the Works and Days is basically a calendar. It's just like a poem that has like the different tasks in agriculture, and then says like when is the best time to do them, and like, you know, I was really curious as to how they were going to adapt that into a theater thing that was going to be interesting. But it was actually really good. It was so good. So yeah, that was great. The play itself was fantastic, excellent. My experience, though, I was incredibly annoyed with the people in the audience, because there were people behind me that were talking the entire time, and this was one of those plays that's like very vibey, and you really need to be sucked into it and sort of forget your surroundings, and then it's fantastic, and you're sort of getting hypnotized by it. But every time I would reach that point, they would say something and pull me out of it, like straight away. So that was really annoying. There was also a lot of people like on their phones so we just had like these random like phone screens lighting up from the audience, or like pictures taken with flashes. Or there was one dude who like entered late and sort of like used like the flashlight of his phone to find a seat, and it was like, come on, like, I was like on the balcony up high, which at first I was like, oh, I would have, like, it's gonna be good, but actually it actually worked out pretty well. I think I liked it more on the balcony than I would have on the ground, because like they used like pretty much the entire stage, and so if you're right in front of it, like the back, like you would still be able to see it, but like from now I had sort of like a diagonal view from above, so I think that made it slightly easier to see like everything that was going on stage, because there was some parts where there was like a few different things going on. So that was great. But it also meant that I sort of had like could see like a big part of the audience, and so the phone screens lighting up and stuff like that, I really noticed that. And I really, just theater etiquette, man. Like, don't, it wasn't even that long of a production. Like, just shut them off. Like, if it's really so hard for you to not grab your phone, like during an hour and a half show, not even, just shut it off, or don't even take it with you. Like, come on. And then, yeah, really annoying. So the experience
it's very double because the play itself was really, really good. And then we talked to two of the actors afterwards, and it was with my friends from uni. It was like, hey, we're uh, students and we study ancient Greek, and so like the weeks and days, kind of fun. And we're like, cool. They seemed genuinely interested. It was so nice, and so yeah, we talked to them a little bit, which was great. Um, so yeah, that was a good play. Um, and then yesterday, the student organization that I'm a part of had their like opening night, um, which was a great success. There were so many people. We were so happy. So yeah, great. But again, I that was my evening that went to there. But it was great to just see some people that I haven't seen in a little while, um, or that I'm probably not going to see very often during the year. So yeah, it was nice talking to a bunch of people. It was a fun evening. So the weekend will be more reading time. Um, so I'll probably get a bit more done, but I did do some reading. So I read a little bit more of the Bloodstones, but I not enough to like fully have new thoughts that I haven't shared already. Um, so yeah, I also read some of A Court of Mist and Fury. I One of the things that I like in a romance is when it's like two broken people finding healing with each other. And that's in this book. And I love it. And there is this push and pull that is very realistic after, very traumatic experience that they've had. And sort of, you know, not only finding healing with each other, but also, mm, needing the need to heal first, or at least partially heal first, before we can truly commit to this relationship and before this can work. Um, and I really like that, and I think it's very realistic in that. And yeah, I'm just really enjoying it. I have a little under 200 pages left. I Yeah, it's really good. I like it a lot. Then I also tried starting Temptation Ridge by Robyn Carr. I read the first chapter, but didn't love it. I already really did not like the previous book 6. I didn't really like book 5. I DNF that one. And there was just certain things in this first chapter that made me feel like kind of icky. Like, not to the point that they were like truly like problematic yet, but I could see them, moving in that direction. My camera really cut me off. I was saying that I could see it moving in a pretty, like, there were certain. So, this series from the start has had certain things that weren't really a problem, but I was like, I'm gonna keep an eye on this, um, in case it turns a problem. Like, this entire series follows um, people who have been in the military, which with that in itself, there's not a problem, but there's like a certain um how do I say this? Like, there's nothing wrong with writing about war veterans and stuff like that, but it could potentially lean into like a pretty conservative, like patriotic in a bad way type of vibe, which that was one of the things I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep an eye on that fact, which it didn't fully turn that way, yet at least. So that's not the problem, but there were certain things that, I wasn't really quite sure about, and in this one as well, like I could see them move in a certain direction that I love. So we follow Luke and Shelby, and again, I only read like the first chapter, maybe like a little bit of the second chapter, so I can't say much. But just Luke, every woman that he sees is like, oh my god, she's really hot. Oh my god, she's really hot. And then he just is constantly thinking of like hot women trying to, he comes to Virgin River as one of the first things that he asks, like, where can I find like a hot girl or something like that. And it's just, I don't love that. And then also, we don't get his age, but we know that he has served in the military for 20 years. At some point, he went hunting in Virgin River 7 years ago, which I'm going to assume is after he served in the military. I don't know that. But anyway, 7 years ago, he bought property, but there was someone, like this old man, still living there, and they had an agreement that this old man could continue to live there without having to pay rent until he died. But like, Luke and his friend already wanted the property because they were buying like land that was like the surrounding land, and I think that it could be pretty valuable. So then they had it when this man died, and it would go, be sold. So that's 7 years ago. This old man has died now, and that's why he's returned to Virgin River. So that means that he at least has to be in his 40s. And then Shelby, there is one point where she orders a beer, and so Luke thinks like, oh, so she must be at least 21. And then like, if it is ever a question whether she is older than 21, you as a 40-something dude should not be dating her, should not be finding her hot. That is really just weird to me. And then you have Jack, who's the male lead from the first book, and he's a constant in every book. He's like in everybody's business. He's like trying to be matchmaker between these two, like between this woman that he knows is barely in her 20s and this 40-something-year-old dude. And I'm just like, yeah, like relationships like this can happen, and if they happen, I'm not judging. But if you're gonna be matchmaker, like, it's kind of weird. It's a little weird, and I didn't like it. So yeah, I'm just I can just see in a direction, like going in a direction that I really don't want to go in, and I really don't want to read about. So I'm just gonna not. And I'm just gonna say no to this book. And now I've DNF'd 2 of these in a row. So do I continue on with the series? I don't know. I think that at a certain point, like the series, if you just keep writing in a series, even if it's more like companion type books, at a certain point you just run out of things to say in the series or stories to tell in the series, and the quality is suffering because of it. And I think that we've hit that point. So yeah, really sad. Because I really, really liked, especially the first 2 books were so good. And the third one was really good as well. But then after that, it went downhill fairly quickly, in my opinion. So yeah, really sad. Maybe this story is gonna end up being great. I don't know, like maybe none of the things that I could see a role in which they happen are actually gonna happen, and it is a great book and lovely, and then that is wonderful, but I just don't want to take the risk at this point. So yeah, I'm gonna keep my nice memories from book one and book two, and maybe you read book two, which was my favorite, at some point, but I don't know that I'm gonna read further installments in this series. So yeah, that was what I read. I this weekend, I'm gonna. It is my goal to do quite a bit of reading. I would like to try and finish both Akamath and the Bloodstones. Um, that is my goal, to finish both. I don't know if that's gonna work. If it doesn't, it's just fine. It's fine. Um, and then maybe if I finish both of them, I might start something, but I'm not sure what. I'm not sure what I'm in the mood for right now. So you know, you'll see what ends up happening. Um, so yeah, that was my update. I'll talk to you probably on Monday. Bye.
Hi. So it's Sunday evening, and I have quite a bit to update on. So, first of all, on Saturday, I finished Akamath. I really liked it. I really loved it, in fact. It's just, I already said it exactly what my brain needed at the moment. Part one was just heartbreaking and just so hard to read. And then part two just felt very cozy and slice of life and just lovely. And then part three, which is the part I read on Saturday, just got very intense and very page turnery, and so much happened, so much plot happened. um so yeah, I'm really excited for the third book. Some characters that I already disliked based on this book just went so much farther than I expected they would. Um, you know, some reveals that I didn't see coming, or just events that I didn't see coming. The ending has me so scared for Vera in book three. Um, so I hope that she's okay. I hope that it's gonna be alright. Because I don't think that she will be. I don't trust that she will be. But we're gonna, fingers crossed. But yeah, I really, really loved that. I think it's a big step up from book one. I also really liked book one, but I think that this one is just excellent. I really see now why people love her books. I also see why people think or read her books when they're in a bad mental health. And yeah, I just think it was very well done. Like, a lot of things came very full circle. Um, thematically, like the trauma and how trauma influences creativity and art, and how that came back at the end, I thought was very interesting. I really liked the romance in it. Yeah, I like the found family. It just, it was great. I loved it. Give it 5 stars. It was fantastic. Then also on Saturday, I watched a movie. I watched Honor Amongst Thieves, like the D&D movie, and it was just so much fun. Like, it was so campy, and I was here for it. I really liked it. I thought it was funny. Again, a fun family trope, which I really liked. And just, yeah, it was a great movie. It was a grand old time. Um, yeah, I don't know what to say. It was fun. I liked the colors were like very bright, a little too bright and oversaturated, and I really liked the vibe that gave everything. So yeah, really enjoyed that. And so today I have spent most of, well, not most, I had stuff to do today, but the time I spent reading today was reading The Bloodstones, and I will probably finish this tonight. I'm gonna actually, right after filming this clip, I'm just gonna sit down and finish it. But I reached the end of part 2 and the beginning of part 3, so I thought that this would be a good place to update before the end. 80% into the book. I'm really enjoying it. I already mentioned that I like the focus on you need more than just a warrior to be a good leader. And that is still true. I really like that. I don't know if I've talked about this, but I think it's really funny. Oh, I forgot their name. Sindri's POV. They're this society that is very much about fighting and war and stuff like that. And I'm not super familiar with those like really warrior societies outside of my knowledge of ancient Sparta. Um, and so that is my only reference for societies. Like that's because I'm just not very familiar with how they go. And I think it's really interesting that in this society, if you die in battle, then the Sky clans, which are like the gods in the society, won't know your name and won't honor you and won't, um, like the afterlife will not be good for you. Um, which I think is very interesting in that comparison to Sparta, because in Sparta, the only way, if you die, you would not get an individual grave with your name on it, except if, for a man, you die in battle, because like then you died serving your country, and for a woman, it was if you died in childbirth, because it was also, procreating, continuing the city. So I think that difference is quite interesting and quite funny. That it's like the total opposite. But yeah, I really like it. I do like Garen's perspective the most in this. I think that one's the most interesting to me. But I think that if you would just tell me the tropes of all the POVs, that would be the one that I would think that I was most interested in out of these. So it's just a personal preference thing. I don't think the other POVs are necessarily poorly written. It's just, it's a type of story I enjoy slightly more. I got to see how the two main plot lines, how like they get connected, and I thought that it was very interesting how that happened. And so yeah, I would like to get a little more information on that because it was pretty cool. I hope we get more from that. Yeah, there are in Garen's POV, there has just happened another very heartbreaking scene, and these boys are just put through terrible things. Um, and yeah, my heart breaks for them. Because I don't, even if they would get out of the situation that they're in now, they'll never be able to go back to how their life was before. Um, because it's just changing them so fundamentally and purposefully changing them so fundamentally that it's so sad to see. And yeah. Anyway, I'm going to finish this book now. And then I think that is going to be, well, I'll give you my final thoughts, and then I'm gonna end the vlog, I think, which then it is a little shorter than what I usually do, because usually I like to finish Monday, Tuesday, so it's a day, 1 or 2 days shorter. But I think it's just a little more satisfying to end the vlog with finishing 2 books and then start the next vlog with starting a book, rather than like starting another book at the very tail end of this vlog and then having to start the next vlog with like, oh yeah, I already started this book in the previous one. I just think that it's better to just cut the vlog short by a little bit. So yeah, I'm gonna read more now, and I'll talk to you probably tomorrow. I think I'm gonna be tired when I finish it, and I'm gonna go to bed right away, as soon as I finish this, but then I'll update you tomorrow. So, bye. Hi, it's Tuesday, and it's time to end the vlog. I did end up finishing the Bloodstones. There was a bigger chunk of it left than I thought that there would be Sunday evening. So I read like a part of it, and then I was tired, so I just went to bed and I finished it today. I wanted to finish it yesterday, but I was really in the mood for something else. You'll see that in the next vlog. So I finished it today. I really liked it. I did not see that ending coming, like, at all. There were parts of the ending that were still so heartbreaking. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. It is, as I already mentioned, it is a little bit outside of my comfort zone. It is not something that I want to be reading all the time, but I really enjoyed it. Now I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. Yeah, I liked it. I liked to. There wasn't much political scheming, but there was like a little bit that was hinted at, and so very fragmented as well. And so, sort of trying to piece that together, and I thought that a certain thing was immensely obvious to do with that, but then the ending turned out to be something pretty different that I did not see coming. So yeah, that was interesting. I had a good week. So I finished both Akamaf, which I really enjoyed, gave it 5 stars, loved that book, and I finished The Bloodstones, which I give 4 stars, and I also really liked, so I think I'm gonna call that a success. And that's the end of this video, so I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you read this week. And I will talk to you in the video. Bye.